Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are working on Unit 3, Lesson 8, finding a common unit fraction. This is on page 107 in your textbook. So let's begin. Have your black notebook out, and here we go. Common denominators for other cases. Case 1, denominators with no common factor except 1. So in your black notebook, put 2/3 plus 4/5. And then we have Virginia's solution. I need to find a common denominator. 3 times 4 is 12. So if I multiply the numerator denominator of each fraction by the other factor, they'll both have the denominator 12. So 2 times 4, 3 times 4, plus 5 times 3, 4 times 3, gives you a common denominator of 12. 8 twelfths plus 15 twelfths is 23 over 12, which is equivalent to 1 and 11 twelfths. Let's go ahead and solve a couple of these at the bottom. So after you copy the example down right here, let's work number 1. Let me just bring up the right tool here. And there we go. Okay. All right, so number 1 in your black notebook. Here we go. So we have 4/5 plus 2/3. So again, I would set it up 4/5 plus 2/3. Looking at the 5, looking at the 3, 3 doesn't go into 5, but 3 times 5 would be 15, so there's my common denominator. 3 times 5, what I do to my denominator, I must do to my numerator. 2 times 5, 10. 5 times 3, 4 times 3. Oops, sorry about that, 12 I mean. And 12 plus 10 is 22 over 15. Now, we can't leave it as 22 over 15, so we have to change it from a improper fraction to a mixed number. So 15 goes into 22 once, and then you have the remainder of 7 over 15. So your answer would be 1 and 7/15. All right, let's look at number 2, a subtraction problem. Let me just copy it here. And let's begin. All right, so 3/5 minus 1/6. So again, I would set it up 3/5 minus 1/6. All right, so you're looking at the 6, looking at the 5. 5 doesn't go into 6. 5 times 6 is 30. So there's your common denominator. 6 times 5, what I do to my denominator, I must do to my numerator. 1 times 5 is 5. 5 times 6, and 3 times 6. 3 times 6 is 18. Now my denominators are alike, and it's as simple as subtracting 5 from 18, which is 13 over 30. All right, hopefully that makes sense. So now you have 1 and 2 as examples. Let's move on. Take a peek at case number 2 here. It says denominators with a common factor that is not one of the numbers. Again, 3/4 plus 5/6. You don't have to copy this down, but let's just take a look at it. So 3/4 plus 5/6. Roger's solution. I think of a number that is a multiple of both denominators, 5 and 6. 12 is a multiple of 4 and 6. 4 goes into 12. 6 goes into 12. Then I think of what to multiply the denominator of each fraction by to get 12. I multiply the numerator and the denominator by that number. So what he's saying here is you have 3/4 plus 5/6 3 times 3, 4 times 3, they get to 12, and 9 twelfths. 5 times 2, 6 times 2, um, they get to 10 twelfths. And now you have 9 twelfths plus 10 twelfths, which is 19 twelfths, but then you can't leave it as 19 twelfths. Um, if you take 1 times 12, you get 12 plus 7 is 19 over 12. So 12 goes into 19 one time with a remainder of 7 over your denominator of 12. Serena's solution, if I can't think of a common multiple, I just use Virginia's method and multiply the numerator and the denominator, and that's what I was getting at earlier today in class, of each fraction by the other fraction. So in this case, instead of 12, take 4 times 6, and then you get to 24. 3/4 is equivalent to 18 over 24. 5/6 is equivalent to 20 over 24. 18 plus 20 is 38 over 24. 24 goes into 38 one time with a remainder of 14 over your denominator of 24. But then you always simplify. 2 goes into 14 7 times. 2 goes into 24 12. Let's just do one more of these, and let's do number 3 here. Probably shouldn't highlight it. Let's isolate it. So on your black notebook, write down 5/6 plus 3/8. Again, set it up like this. 5/6 plus 3/8. All right, so looking at the 8, looking at the 6. 6 goes into 24. 8 goes into 24. 6 goes into 48, and 8 goes into 48. So 6 times 8 is 48, but I would choose 24 just because then it saves you work in the end. And now we just find out that 8 times 3 is 24. What you do to the denominator, you do to your numerator, and you end up with 9. 6 times 4 is 24. 5 times 4 is 20. So you end up with 29 over 24, which is an improper fraction. 24 goes into 29 once, with a remainder of 5 over 24. Again, 24 times 1 is 24, plus 5 is 29 over your denominator of 24. Make sure you copy that problem down. Let's take a look at a few other problems here. Common factor, a factor that 2 or more numbers share. So let's go ahead and copy that into your black notebook. Common factor, a factor that 2 or more numbers share, and then this is important here. 4 is the common factor of 12 and 20. So now we're not talking about multiples, we're talking about factors. Okay? Common denominator, copy that definition down. A common multiple of 2 or more denominators. Example, 15 is a common denominator of 1/3 and 2/5. 1/3 is equivalent to 5 over 15. 2/5 is equivalent to 6 over 15. So 1/3 plus 2/5 is equivalent to 5/15 plus 6/15, which makes 11/15. So go ahead and copy that down in your black notebook, nice and neat, so you have that definition as well. Pause it if you need to. If not, if you have it copied down, let's move on. All right, let's just do a couple more here. Let me just jump through to see what we got left here. Yeah, let's just do a couple more. All right, let's look at number 5. And I'm just going to isolate it here. Complete each statement with greater than or less than. So here we have 5/6 greater than or less than 7/9. For this problem, I mean, if the denominators are not alike, then cross multiplication. 9 times 5 is 45. 6 times 7 is 42. So 45 is greater than 42, so 5 6 is greater than 7 9. Just if you look at the 5 6, 5 parts out of 6 are shaded, or 7 parts out of 9 are shaded. So there are 2 parts here and 1 part there that are not shaded. Might help you figure it out as well. If not, like I said, cross multiply. Let's go back and look at, number 12, and this will be the last one. Number 12. All right. We have 4 and 1/2 plus 2 and 5/9. Again, set it up. 4 and 1/2 plus 2 and 5/9. First thing you got to do is look for the common denominator. So 9 and 2, 2 does not go into 9 evenly. 2 times 9 is 18, so there's a common denominator. 9 times 2, what I do to my denominator, please do that to your numerator. 5 times 2 is 10. 2 times 9 is 18, so 1 times 9 is 9. 9 plus 10 is 19. Oops, try that again. Is 19 over 18. We cannot leave it as 19 over 18. That would be improper. 18 goes into 19 once with a remainder of 1 over 18. 1 times 18 is 18 plus 1 is 19 over 18. So your mixed number would be 1 and 1/8. As far as homework for class time, complete each statement with greater than or less than. Again, I would look at this 7 out of 10, 5 out of 8. Both of them are more than half. Cross multiply. 10 times 5 is 50. 8 times 7 is 56. So 7/10 is greater than 5/8. Adding and subtracting, we should be good there. And then let's see if we have the remembering piece. Looks pretty cut and dry too. Just remember that when you are adding and subtracting, you do have to line up your decimals. In multiplication and division, it's different, but in adding and subtracting, the decimals have to fall below each other. Number 18 here, if you look, because we have a common denominator, this becomes a fairly easy problem. 6 plus 3 is 9 over 7. 3 plus 1 is 4. However, 9/7 is improper, so 7 goes into 9 to change that once, with a remainder of 2/7. So the 4 that you originally had, plus the 1 and 2/7, now you have 5 and 2/7 as your mixed number. All right, that concludes our lesson for this evening. We will work on 3.8 in class. Make sure you ask questions if you have any. Hey.